Hello, it's me again, the Arty Biz teacher, and today I'm going to talk about, of course, the coronavirus and how that might impact on the marketing and selling of your art and craft. So I hope you'll join me in a second. See you in a minute. Bye. Hello, it's the Arty Biz teacher, and thanks for hanging on and listening to my little jingle. Before I do today's upload, I just want to remind you to subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it, and just hit that notification button so that when I do new uploads you won't miss anything. And I hope you're enjoying what I've got to say. So yeah, today I'm going to talk about, the coronavirus, but more specifically how that's impacting on business, the economy, and very specifically how it's impacting on you as an artist and maker and selling your work. So I do apologise in advance for being so cheery today. And I'm not going to make it too painful. So I woke up this morning feeling really panicked, and I was thinking, oh gosh, because I'm self-employed and I rely on the sales of art and craft and other things too. This is just one of the things that I do. And it's a real worry. So I started to think about all the scenarios. And so I want to be looking at this challenge, or this fear at the end of this of losing revenue and businesses becoming insolvent or losing income, and this thought of experiencing hardship, which a lot of people have to experience, I know. But it's times when you're looking at selling your art and craft, it's times like this where you really see the distinction between a professional artist and maker who's relying on the sales of their work to live, or live partly, they need that income, and artists and makers who make things and they just like to sell and they enjoy it at varying degrees. And that's why when I do my consultancy work, it's one of the first things we explore is where are you on this selling spectrum. So I definitely want to be talking to the artists and makers who seriously earn money for their living, or they do that as part of their income, definitely. And for all those artists who are not relying on that income, it would be really useful for you to listen up, because it will show you the difference and really get you to understand what is required to actually make that successful, and how something like the coronavirus really impacts on your work and the success of it. So when there's a bit of a crisis on, or threatened crisis, the artists and makers who need that money and they earn a living from it, these are the people who know exactly what money is coming in and what money is going out. It's like any other business. They have to factor in time, fuel, they have to factor in breakages, marketing, advertising, they have to factor in insurance, sometimes rent rates, heating bills, energy bills, water, etc. It's like any other business. They are fully fledged self-employed people. So in times like this, their first thought is not to put it on the back burner. It's like, what are they going to do about it? What contingencies have they got? The ones who create for a living, they have to be driven to create and produce. They can't just feel like painting or making, so they get up every day and they do something, and quite a lot, every day related to their business. And that's very different from an artist or maker who's not relying on the money. It's just a completely different ball game. An artist who starts out thinking they want to sell to make a living, there are enough hurdles and challenges without the coronavirus, and a lot of them soon realise how hard it is, what hard graft it is in terms of making and producing, but how difficult it is to find the market and actually sell your work. It's like anybody selling anything. It's very hard and they get knocked back. So can you imagine times like this, you're going to be doubly knocked back, and it's tough times ahead. I hope not for too long. So what are the challenges for any artist and maker selling in situations which have a marked negative effect or impact on the national and in fact the global economy? So it's a bit like the 2008 crash. Some are predicting worse, but we've been through that. We can draw comparisons. Quite simply, it's about supply and demand. And in times like this, it's the lower and middle markets that get the kickback. That was seen immediately in terms of art and craft in the 2008 crash. So if you're in the lower and middle market, prepare, you are going to get hit and knocked back if this coronavirus continues. So what we saw with the 2008 crash was lower and middle markets were a lot of people went out of business, couldn't sell their items because people didn't have the disposable income, and if they did have, they were pulling back on their spending. The top level, the upper echelons of the art market, they were also affected, but not as much, and it was very delayed. So the economic crash happened, but the actual art market didn't follow suit. It was really quite fascinating, and it was the items that were costing thousands and thousands, hundreds and thousands of pounds that weren't affected, and that's a common trend. So you'll find the same with the coronavirus. So the contemporary art market, the contemporary art market bubble will most likely survive. But it's your lower market and middle markets that are going to suffer, right? What do I mean by the middle and lower markets? Well, the middle market, you're talking anything from, something like £5,000 downwards. The lower market, £5 to £100. That's the kind of ballpark that you're looking at. What are people wanting today? Well, they're wanting hand gel and toilet paper and protective plastic or whatever they are, tents to quarantine people. They're not wanting to buy art and craft, okay? What happens is that even though people are not straight away losing money or having their source of income curtailed, they pull back. So their instinct isn't to go out and buy a painting. What their instinct is to hold back and keep their money close to their chest. Okay, so that's really bad news for the lower and middle market. But we have to face the reality. So that's the depressing bit over. You'll be pleased to know. Now I'm going to give some suggestions as to what I think you might do in times like this where the future is really uncertain, the economic future. Well, as an artist and maker, you may be faced with the possibility that your fairs, your shows, where you go to sell your work, they might be cancelled, okay? Or if they're not cancelled, you're going to have very reduced footfall. So contingency plans are really, really important, and you need to start thinking about that now. So the first thing I'd say to you is get the doors of your studio open. Get back to your studio. Don't just use it for making. Have it open to sell. And market that as your outlet. Market it aggressively online. Market it aggressively with hard copy leaflets, press releases, PR press releases that you can do for free, and just send them, email them, blanket email them, saying that you're having a relaunch of your studio, make an event. Get back to your studio, open it up, invite people, and you can then control what happens there. You can say what the rules are for people coming in. You'll be totally the boss in that situation. The other thing that I would recommend is to link up with as many galleries, shops, outlets of any level, and get your work into as many as possible with the sort of target market that is going to buy your work. Select some, get back out there, sale or return, most likely. Times like this, it's very unlikely people are actually going to buy your work. As time goes on, you will see that fewer and fewer with the economic crises will buy your work at wholesale prices. So it may be sale or return. So consider that. But the second really important thing is your online presence. So if you've got a website, that's fine. But if you've got a showcase website, it's not enough. So you need a shopping cart. And you can actually get onto an online platform. So having your own website is really difficult because it might not come up in the search engines, and it takes so much time and effort to actually drive traffic to a website. So get with somebody who's already established and have a shop and pay a little bit of commission to them when they sell a piece of your work. So set up a storefront, say, on some of the big online platforms, you can do that, or the small ones like me, which is Art in the Heart. What I would advise is go onto a platform that doesn't charge registration fees or annual fees or listing fees. For the moment, pull back, try and get everything for free. I don't charge, for example. I charge a 25% commission when you sell. So you can check me out, artintheheart.co.uk, but there are many others. I sound like the BBC now. One thing I'll say about any online presence is get your narrative sorted out. Get a real compelling narrative about you and your work. And online, make sure you know how to write copy, that you understand keyword searches, you understand the sort of words that you need to use in your narrative. So you have some awareness about that. Also, great images. Great images are an imperative, and great descriptions about your work. So if your English is a bit dodgy, then get somebody else to do it for you. Get somebody to check it over, somebody who's got more of a linguistic talent, I would advise. And also on social media, there's so much that you can do for free. Did you realise that you can do have a Facebook page, do Facebook posts? You can actually have a free platform to schedule tweets, and you can do a certain level of email marketing for free. You can get a YouTube channel for free. There's so much you can do for free, and you need to wake up and smell the coffee and get your own marketing done. You can't afford to have some fancy marketing company for you to do it for you. Get down to doing it yourself. I know it's hard work, but you can't rely on shows and fairs to do that for you anymore, and they might not even exist in the near future. Like this year, we might be wiped out this year. So contingency plans online. But just if you want some advice, just drop me a line on Messenger. or you can message me at dawn@artintheheart.co.uk, ask for help, or look on my storefront on artintheheart.co.uk. Just search on Dawn Birch James, and my products will come up, and a send message icon. You can send me a message with your concerns. It is worrying times, but I'm confident that it will pass. And think about what I've said today about markets and about some of my suggestions. And I am here to help. Okay? And please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye.